All right, welcome back to the coolest people in the world. I am here today with somebody that is beyond cool to me. The ripple of love that this young woman has already caused in my life in like the 3 days that I've known her is just magnificent. So, hi, Mirn, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I am just wonderful. I'm so happy to be here with you. Like this happened so quickly and randomly, and what's so fun is it's not random at all. And we're going to talk about how synchronistic it actually is. But my friend Mern is like the ultimate Swifty. And when I say the ultimate Swifty, I don't just mean a fan, someone who just loves Taylor Swift. I mean someone who's really embodying what I have come to know Taylor Swift to be. I have to close this door real quick. One sec. Squeaking. But I'm not, well, I shouldn't say I'm not a Swiftie yet because we'll get to that. But I don't listen to Taylor Swift music. I've never been to a concert. Like, Taylor Swift's been a part of my upbringing. I don't know. How old is she?
She honestly, I can't say for certain. She's like 35, 36, something like that.
Yeah. So I'm 37. So like, Taylor Swift and I like came up together, but she was like, not really,
Yeah.
right? But like,
What year were you born?
87.
Okay, so she was born in 89, so she's like
Okay.
years older than you.
So she's just always been such a part of my life, I guess. But I've never
So
been
2 years.
into music.
I did the math wrong. She's like 2 years younger than you.
2 years, yeah, about
Yeah.
that. I knew she was about my age,
Yeah.
and so not ever listening to her music, I respected her for who she was. She was part of the ethos, and I was it. Like you know who certain people are just because they're so relevant in society. And so Taylor Swift was that for me. And recently I started asking questions, and when you ask questions, you get answers. I started asking like, what is the whole Taylor Swift Swifty phenomenon? Because like I must have missed the boat. Like I've known Taylor Swift, but clearly I missed that boat. Like what is it? Somebody fill me in. And when you ask the universe starts going, here you go. And then so I meet somebody like Mern, who is the embodiment of what I've learned the answer to this question is. And you are spreading love and ripples of love. So far, you're from Louisville, Kentucky, and my daughter wore her friendship bracelet from your pocket high school the other day proudly, and she's very particular about her jewelry. So, Mern, before I keep rambling, I want you to kind of tell me just a little bit about you, who you are, and then I'll tell the story how we got here, and we're going to get into Swifty World.
Okay. I'm Mirn. That's short for Miranda. It's kind of a nickname I got from my workplace and my friends at Wild Eggs. We had this cook that couldn't say Miranda, so he would call me Mernda when he needed something. And my friends and I that we all worked together, it just became this like joke, and they'd call me Mernda, whenever we were hanging out and stuff. And then my best friend Bonnie actually shortened it to Mern one day. And it's just kind of stuck. And like now, all of the staff and all of our new friends that come and go, um, they call me Mern. And when I transitioned into management and I started introducing myself to regulars and things like that, like I just started going by Mern just so it wouldn't be confusing if like a staff member said, "Hey Mern, can you discount this for me?"
I
Uh,
love it.
so I've never had a cool nickname for myself or anything like that until then. So that's just something really special, and that's why Mern is on like my business cards and things like that.
Yeah. I love that. And you're 26.
Yes, I'm 26. I was born and raised here in Louisville, Kentucky. I've been here my whole life. I haven't really done a whole lot. I will say the last couple of years have been a lot of firsts for me. I went on my first girls' trip to the Taylor Swift Eras Tour, and that was actually my first flight too. So when I got to go to Florida for the first time for my friend's wedding, and then again for the Taylor Swift show, so like I finally got to see the ocean and things like that. So I've definitely am starting to live a little more than I have in the past.
I love that for you. And you're just getting started. And I already want you to come visit because we're going to connect the dots on the people that I know and how I'm on a mission. So I'm on a mission right now, a self-proclaimed mission, because I met this amazing young woman when I was visiting Kentucky. So how we got here. So I was visiting Kentucky because I was invited through my husband through to go to the Kentucky Derby, which was not ever on my radar. Visiting Kentucky was only on my radar in the sense of I have a friend who lives like I don't know, on some land out there that I want to visit. But other than that, like Kentucky was not on my radar. Um, but who says no to an invite to the Kentucky Derby? So I got my little fascinators ready, and I've dressed the part. It's not, you can see this is not who I am. The Derby, I'm not a, not my lifestyle. But I played the part and had fun. But who I forgot lived there. You're gonna appreciate the synchronistic nature of this. Um, who I forgot lived there when I said yes to this was my friend Bridget, who I was at breakfast with when
Mhm.
we met at the restaurant that Mirn manages. Um, and so Bridget, going back to when my daughter was born, I lost over 100 pounds when after my daughter was born. I set out on a mission, and I started blogging when like blogging was just becoming kind of a thing.
Mhm.
Facebook like pages were just becoming a thing. Like it was brand new. It was 2011 ish. So I had this thing called Skinny Jeans Dreams, and all these people, whatever. The point is I was using Weight Watchers at the time to lose the weight, but I was talking about it publicly, and so I had a little bit of an influence. It's kind of where my journey started. Um, we both won a national contest that Weight Watchers put on for like people who got the most votes for why they were losing weight, and with one other guy, Peter. So we all won this, and we all stayed Facebook friends. That was 2011, I believe,
Mhm.
and never met in person. She's the one that said, "Meet me at Wild Eggs," and that was the first
Okay.
time we met. And when we walked in, like, and she's also one of the people that's been filling in the blanks for me on why people love Taylor Swift so much. So she was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
she's the one." She said, "You got to make sure to tell the manager you're a Swifty." And I was like, "What?" Because I'm a storyteller. I'm like, "Tell me more." So that's how we got there. And I'm going to let you tell me more because I think your story is really fascinating, actually. And I love that we connected in this way.
Okay. So we, the reason you asked to see a manager is because there was this sign at the host stand that said that I actually designed and created, and it just says something simple like, "Hey, if you're a Swiftie, ask to see a manager." And it's got little Taylor Swift pictures at the bottom, and we just keep it at the host stand because we just give out friendship bracelets. And this whole thing started from back in 2023 when we were going to the Eras Tour, or I guess 2022 when Taylor Swift announced the Eras Tour. We ended up getting tickets. That was our first goal. And let me tell you, surviving the Great War of Ticketmaster will always be one of my favorite stories to tell.
I will tell it because I actually don't know what that is. I saw you write it, but I didn't know what that meant.
Okay, did you ever hear about how Ticketmaster, like, we shut it down? Like, we broke it.
Broke the
Because
internet type thing. I probably saw the headlines.
we got into the queue and it was hours. Now, first off, some of us got codes, some of us didn't. I ended up being off that day, and my best friend Bonnie, who was the kitchen manager at the time, she had to work. It was Tuesday, it was our inventory day, and she like told our bosses, like, "I'll be working, but like I'm gonna be on the computer most of the day." And I went to my grandmother's house where she had better Wi-Fi, so I could set up my whole computer. I had snacks. Like, I have this picture somewhere deep in my phone where it's
Please
just a
find
picture
it for
of
me.
picture of my iPad set up where I'm listening to Taylor Swift's new Midnight's album. I'm just to like set the tone and the vibes. I've got my Gatorade, my crackers, and my laptop set up. And I'm literally going throughout the kitchen. It was set up on the kitchen at first, but throughout the whole day, I ended up carrying my laptop around the entire house because I was there doing laundry too. So I was like, I gotta go flip the laundry. The laptop's coming with me. I've gotta go. I can't sit in this wood kitchen chair anymore. So I'm like sitting on the floor or like laying on my stomach on the kitchen floor or the hallway or in the living room on the carpet. And it's so crazy.
And
And
just
Bonnie,
refreshing, what's happening during this
you
time?
can't refresh. You can't refresh. You're just stuck in the queue. You wiggle your mouse so your computer doesn't lock you out. You make sure your computer stays alive. You're just waiting for this. It said 12,000 plus people in front of you or something like that. Or I can't even remember the number. I have a picture of that somewhere too, but it's so crazy.
That's
And
crazy.
I'm texting her. We're texting in our Swifty group chat that we have because we're all planning to go. And Bonnie and I are so prepared to try and get these tickets. Like, she had a bigger credit limit than me. So I have her credit card saved in my Ticketmaster account just in case.
Right.
And so she's at work and we're talking and everything and we're just frozen. So she goes into the walk in And that's like the big refrigerator that has all our food, so she can start counting. And I know damn well that she does not have signal in there when I start texting her in this moment, because the messages are green. They're not like the iMessage with the blue, and she's not, the phone's going straight to voicemail. And the reason I'm blowing her up is because the queue started, it unfroze and started going down. And so I remember texting her like, Bonnie Olivia Rothberg, I need you to call me. Answer me now, damn it. Like, and she tells the story even funnier too, because she's like, as soon as my phone started blowing up, I sprinted to the office and I was like, it's time, it's time, it's time. And we're freaking out. And I ended up in the queue, to like look for tickets before her. And I'm shaking, I'm freaking out. And she's like, calm down. And I'm like, I can't calm down. It's happening. What's going to happen? What if I don't get them? And I'm like, and so I'm stretched out on the living room floor, and I'm on the phone with her trying to show her, like, I'm holding up my phone, like trying to show her the screen. And I'm not left-handed, I'm right-handed. So I'm holding the phone with my left hand and I'm trying to wiggle the mouse with my right hand. And she's like, I can't see. And I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm like, oh, I'm not even holding the phone to the computer screen so she can see. And my grandmother walks in the door because she got home from work, and she's on the phone with my aunt. And I'm like, can't talk, it's important. And like, just go away. And she's cracking up in the other room now. And Bonnie's just like, I don't care, just get them. Because I'm trying to ask her, these good seats, are these decent? Like, how much is this? Yada, yada, yada. Yeah. And she's like, I don't care, just get them. And so the limit was 6, and we only got 6 tickets. But the next day, we got a resale ticket for our friend.
So 7 total of you girls?
Yes, so 7 total of us got to go.
I love that.
Honestly, like, my heart stopped. And like when I texted like a picture of saying, congrats, you got the tickets, all of it, I literally, like, I sobbed, because I was like so happy, not just for me, but I was able to make that happen for my friends and everything. And, like, it was literally
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was like, it was Swifty magic. It was a miracle. Like, we thanked the Taylor gods, is what we say. Yeah.
I love this. No, I seriously love this. And you are like, to me, this is Swifty magic, right? Like, I'm learning what Swifty magic kind of is. Like, when I talk to my girl, Whitney, like, my friend, she's like, oh, I got to go be on TMZ later. And like, I was telling you offline, like, showbiz doesn't work that way. But I was like, oh, tell them about my friend Mirn. Like, there's a ripple to what you're doing. And I want to talk about the bracelets, but that excitement has to have me pause you. And like, what is it about Taylor for you that gets you that excited? Because that's the most excited I've seen you. And it rippled to me, because I'm like, oh, I love this for you so much.
Honestly, my thing with Taylor started when I was about 8 or 9. The first song I ever heard was Teardrops on My Guitar. I'm still obsessed with that song today. And she, even though I couldn't really understand it at that age, like what it was really about, because I was too young. I remember my first little crush that you like have in elementary school, liked some other girl. So I remember listening to that song on repeat, because that song always says, you know, it was basically he liked another girl, but not me. Like, why couldn't he, you know, like me instead? And then after that, I liked her music. I liked her sound. And then I started listening to her more and more as like an escape from like my anxieties or troubles that I was having. Yeah. And I wouldn't say I was like this much of a Swiftie back then. Because I just didn't know what it was or anything like that. But I think the main thing that I love about being a Swiftie and Taylor Swift, and like all of the Swifties, is the connections and the friendships that we form. Because it's just something that we've bonded over. And like the reason I get so excited telling that story, or any of our Taylor stories, is because we just all get so excited. We hype each other up. It's really empowering, and we just love sharing that love with each other. And it's not just about sharing it with each other anymore. It's sharing it with random strangers. Like after the Eras tour, I always had friendship bracelets with me. And I remember we were at the mall shopping for a vacation that we were going on or something. And we literally saw these 2 girls in Eras tour merch, and we literally followed them into a candy store. That sounds really creepy when I say it out loud, but we followed them into a candy store, and we just said, hey, we saw that you're Swifties. Here's some friendship bracelets.
I love that. And what was their reaction?
I mean, they were like, "Oh my gosh, I wish we had some of ours so we could give you." And we are like, "That's okay. We just saw your merch and we just had to share. You know, we just wanted to
I
make sure you all
love
had
it.
some friendship bracelets."
So I have my friendship bracelets, which when you talk about being prepared and right on time, like Myrna had no idea when she put this one in her pocket today that she was going to run into a writer and poet with a podcast who was going to be like, "Oh my God, I'm obsessed with you." But
Mm-hmm.
mine says all's fair in love and poetry, and I'm like obsessed with this.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is, oh my God, she's insane, which I don't even know what that means, but I love both of them. I'm catching up though. I did listen to Teardrops on My Guitar, and I listened to the 10-minute. I didn't write down what the song was called. You told me the 10-minute long.
The All Too Well 10-minute
All
version.
too well, thank you. I was like, all something, which I very much enjoyed. But like, I'm catching up on my Taylor Swift
I
music. But
will,
go
I
ahead.
will say the bracelet that you're wearing that says, "Oh my God, she's insane," and it actually is inspired from her song "I Bet You Think About Me" from the Red Taylor's version album, which is the same album that All Too Well 10-minute version
When I
comes
tell you I
out.
just got chills all down my spine because you just told me something that I can't even say online, but I'm gonna write the song down. Thank you.
Yes. When I saw the beads, and that's kind of where bracelet like kind of inspires me, and where I make them is, I saw the beads and I was like, this is definitely giving red vibes, and it was like, it's when I saw the silver with it, I was like, this is absolutely I Bet You Think About Me. And if you saw the music video, you would kind of like understand that too.
So this is what she's talking about for anybody watching, which is beautiful. Like I haven't taken them off. I show everybody I see. I'm like, look at my new bracelets. And I'm gonna go listen to that song. I love the fierceness already, the way you're describing it. What about the other one?
So the other one is when she released her 11th era, which is the Tortured Poets, which obsessed with as well. They It's called the Tortured Poets Department, and when she announced it and made the post about it, she said, "All's fair in love and poetry," and that was like this quote that went along with the album and everything,
I
and
love
it went
that.
viral, of course, and she uses it to this day and everything. So, and it's just I really loved that saying because I loved writing growing up, and everything. And one of my dreams as a kid was to, one day get a book published and be a best-selling author.
That's
And
coming for you.
so, and so I really enjoyed that quote. And when I look to make bracelets we do like theme parties now. Like me and my Swifty friends, and we were doing like a Tortured Poets like debriefing where we like listened to the album, and then we had dinner around like this bonfire and like
I love
snacks, and
this.
we like talked about which songs we liked, what we thought about it, things like that. And I was obsessed and in the bracelet making phase. So I was like, I have to make Tortured Poets themes. And I went on Amazon and I looked for beads. And those black letters that you have, the reason I picked those specifically is because they reminded me of typewriter keys.
Yep. Girl, I don't know what to do with you, but you're my new best friend because the things you're saying that you don't even realize you're connecting dots on for my life is amazing.
Yeah. So that's
Um,
the inspo for that one.
I could tell when you wrote me your summary, I was like, oh, this girl writes. I enjoyed reading about you. And that was something you put together for me last night so I could catch up to speed. Because we literally met, what, Sunday? Monday? Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah. And I got home from Kentucky Monday, and today's Wednesday. So
Yeah.
that's how fast we needed to be here because just the energy exchange was so dope. And I just wish I had more time. And you were working, and it was
Yeah.
a busy Sunday at Wild Eggs. I'm saying yeah.
Mhm.
Which is like, is it a chain?
It is. It is. It started here. I think it started here locally, but there's several locations in like Cincinnati and Louisville and Indianapolis. And we've got some in Bowling Green now too. And I think they're working on franchising out in Houston, in Texas. So they're definitely working on opening more stores. They definitely have a lot of goals there.
Well, the food's amazing, first of all. The food was incredible.
Well, what's even more incredible is my best friend Bonnie, who I've mentioned, who kind of is, we call her our president in our Swifty group. Her dad actually founded Wild Eggs.
Oh, no way.
Yes. So,
Dude, I can't even. My mom's name is Bonnie, first of all. Um, I just can't, you're blowing my mind a little bit, but that's really amazing. And we joked earlier about breakfast lasagna. Like going to that place, I was so overwhelmed by the menu
mhm.
and the way, just like I told you already, how synchronistic it was. That it was also, I forgot to mention Noah, who was amazing
Yes.
serving. It was his 22nd birthday, and I knew by the way he described like how he took a day off. He wanted to work on his birthday and he had taken a day off, but he even on his day off, he like came in because he loves his coworkers so much.
We,
And go
we
ahead.
are like a family, and Noah is literally like our little brother. He is adorable, and
He's
he
amazing.
brings this energy. And honestly, this is gonna sound really bad, but he and I will bicker sometimes because we used to work before I transitioned to being front of house management. I
Hmm.
was the kitchen manager, and so I would be on Expo a lot, which Expo's like the last person to touch the food and like make sure all the plates are perfect before it goes out. And he would be my what's called a side expo, and he would just help me build all the plates.
Yeah.
And we would be on Side Expo, and I would literally be like, "Shut up! You're so annoying. Just give me the food." Like, because we have
Yeah.
that brother sister
And he's like a little
relationship.
brother. Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody has that kind of relationship. Like, and he just loves coming in, and he really has a soft spot in our hearts.
That's so sweet. And I just feel like I wanted more time to meet everybody. But let me stay on track. Let me bring you back. So Eras tour, you got the tickets, you and your friends went, and this journey that we're talking about of what you're doing with Wild
Mm-hmm.
Eggs, and giving out the bracelets kind of stems from there. So can we
Yes,
start there?
yes. So we got the tickets. We weren't going. This was like fall of 2022, I think, and we weren't going until April 15th, 2023. So several months in between, which honestly, those were some of the most exciting months ever because all we did was talk about it, how excited we were, the planning, the outfits. We saw things going viral on like Instagram and Facebook, and I wasn't really on TikTok, but yeah, TikTok was starting to boom too. So we just saw, and we were planning our outfits and trying to decide what era we wanted to dress up with because people have been dressing up in different eras for like years. At her concerts and dressing up as different characters from her music videos and then recreating outfits and things. And so after months and months of trying to decide on all our outfits and everything, I also was working on a little surprise for all seven of us. Because in one of the songs of her newest album, Midnights, that she released, there's a song called You're on Your Own, Kid. And one of the lyrics says, "So make the friendship bracelets, take the moment and taste it." And after that, the whole Swifty fandom went
I had to
wild.
write it down. I'm listening to you.
And we started making friendship bracelets to trade. And like, there's like so many group chats and forums, and like, social media is crazy. So like, everybody knows that every Swifty going to the show, going to these concerts, are making friendship bracelets to trade. Even people that didn't get tickets but would stand and like, we call it tailgating outside the stadium, would make friendship bracelets to trade and everything. And so I wanted to make sure that we were able to participate in that. So I bought a bunch of beads and I made special sets, like complete Eras Tour sets for each of us that were going, all seven of us. And it included 11 bracelets, one for each of her 10 eras. The 11th, Tortured Poets, did not exist yet, so it was only 10 eras at the time. But then there was an 11th bracelet for, it just said, I have mine right here where it just says, I put their name, and I don't know if you can see it, but
Yeah. Hmm.
it says their name and it just says Eras Tour, like mine says Mirn Eras Tour,
Yeah.
and their favorite colors, just so we can, it was just something special, like to personalize their set
Yeah.
because all of the friendship bracelets were the exact same. They matched except for that one.
I
And
love
it was
it.
just so we could trade them all and they didn't have to worry about making any or buying any, or we didn't know if you could even buy any at this point or anything like that. And I was like, no, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. We made friendship bracelets. And honestly, the trading, it was incredible because I just had them in my backpack to get on the plane. And there were girls and people and Swifties all over that already had bracelets on their hands because, it wasn't the first show.
Yeah.
When we were going, there had been a couple, and there were a couple people like on our flight that were going too.
Right.
And so they would be like, Mirn, are your bracelets, are the bracelets that you made, are they in your suitcase, like your check bag, or do you have them? And I'm like, no, they're in my backpack. And like, we started trading at the airport, like ahead of time.
I love this. Is
Um,
there one that you got that really sticks out to you that means a lot to you on that trip?
um, Honestly, the whole experience is what like mattered to me.
Yeah.
There was so much going on. And I was just more there for the moment, and I can't even remember. I have some hidden, not hidden, but they're put up in a box.
Yeah.
That way I don't trade them. But like, even all of us have gone through and like we've gotten some that we've collected over the years, and we now donate them to our little Taylor cup that we have at work, where we store the bracelets that we give out. And it really is a Taylor cup. It's when the Taylor Swift concert movie came out, the movie theater was selling those collectible cups, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I bought it. And so now it sits on our desk in our office at work, and it holds all of our friendship bracelets.
I just cannot love you. You're amazing. So you started, okay, so you made them for your friends, and then you were telling me like back at work, it's kind of started slowly. Table 46 wants a friendship bracelet.
Yeah, so we, like that story where I said in the mall, we followed these girls into the candy store and gave them bracelets. Like, I just had them in my purse, and it wasn't really planned. I just had them just in case. And people, because, we love Taylor Swift, and like I'm wearing my cardigan now, people would come in wearing their
Oh, I'm not dressed appropriately for this interview.
people would come in and wear like their Eras Tour merch, like a sweatshirt or a Swifty inspired shirt, and it would catch our eye. And we would literally be like, Bonnie or Allie would come running back, and they'd be like, Mirn, please tell me you have friendship bracelets in your purse. Like, there's a Swifty at table 46. And I'd be like, yeah, you know where it is. Go in my purse. Like, I don't care. And then I started being out front more, getting more front of house training, so I could eventually be out front like I am now. And I would see Swifties and I would give them out myself, and just the energy and the happiness that kind of radiated off these people, because they were so shocked and so stunned, and they're like, are you serious? And we're like, yeah, we just give out friendship bracelets. We want to make sure you got one. Right. And so I kind of wanted to take it to the next level. Like, I made a joke, like saying I was going to put a sign at the host stand, like saying, hey, ask for, a friendship bracelet. And whenever we all got promoted again, and we literally were the management team running the store, I did it. I just made the sign and put it at the host stand, and we give out friendship bracelets. And honestly, we didn't think it was going to blow up as much as it did. Like, I would get texts on my day off, like, I hope you're making bracelets. There's 3 left.
Oh my God. So how many do you go through a day on average?
Can't really count. It really depends on the day. Some days, like, we don't go through any. I will say there have been days where, like, I have been busy and I haven't been making bracelets. Mm-hmm. And we would run out. So I would, like, take the sign down and put it away so nobody asks. Oh. And then I would just restock and I would make a bunch. And honestly, at one point, I got really tired and really kind of grumpy, because I was like, I can't even read my books, because we started reading. And I was like, I got to keep making these bracelets, and I really just want to enjoy it. And so I was getting bored. And so what happens when I get bored is I buy new beads and like get rid of the other ones and don't use them. And because it's just something different to work with. And for some reason, that just brings back a little light in my friendship bracelet making. Yeah. And it's gotten so much to where we started doing these things. We call them family dinner now, where Bonnie, Allie, our other manager, because Bonnie went to corporate, so she's not in our store now. But Allie is now our general manager, and I'm the assistant general manager. And then Grant, he is our kitchen manager, and he's another one of our besties. And he's turned into
I lost your camera.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Some notification came up. So he is now turning into a Swifty too. And we do these things called family dinners, like once a week, where we can catch up and everything. And they literally now make friendship bracelets with me. And they call it the Swifty Sweatshop. Because
my goodness.
And then I'll even like tease them. I'm like, y'all made 2 bracelets and I'm sitting over here with 7. Like, catch up, meet your quota.
Oh my gracious. My daughter, who wore hers to school, she actually makes bracelets too. She's not a Swiftie, although I don't know, maybe low key she might be. She was so happy about the bracelet. So, but she makes a lot of stuff. She's sold different bracelets. So there's a lot of work, and it's a lot of money. And you were telling me you spend your own money on this too?
Yeah, no, I just spend my own money on beads. Like, I do not keep track, because that I probably shouldn't admit how much I spend or know how much I spend, but I easily could spend. I probably easily spent about $1,000 on beads within the last several years, and I just keep doing it. And Bonnie the other day was like, Mirn, you have a problem, because I had to buy a bigger tub to store them all in, so I wouldn't have
Oh my
to carry
God.
around 2 tubs. I wanted a bigger one.
Funny.
So I've gotten into like using charms and things like that and little symbols, and it's just kind of grown. And now even Allie has entered her bead addiction era because she buys her own beads now. And I'm like, I told you it was a trap, dude. Like, we're not allowed to go into craft stores. We went to Michael's a few weeks ago, or not Michael's. We went into Hobby Lobby a few weeks ago because she needed some like flowery stuff for her wedding because she's getting married soon. And she was like, you could go with me and beads and all jewelry stuff for 50% off. And I was like, okay, you're not allowed to let me spend, more than $50. And I spent between $100 and $200 on beads
Oh my
instead.
God. Because I
Um,
agree. You need them.
yeah. And I was like, damn it. Like,
So
I spent
anybody listening,
$50.
so anybody listening, we're taking up a donation of beads for Mirn here. But I love this because there is such a like it is so impactful. I mean, look at what a bracelet did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and here I am in New Jersey, and I want to say I have to actually write for my other blog. I have another blog called The Daily Bailey, um, and I just talk about my life, right, my journeys, and so
Mm-hmm.
like the connections that happened today for me around here locally, and all the women, and the way it was just this beautiful spider web of like women helping women. And in the meantime, I think I told 3 people about you because everybody that I ran into was like, "Oh, how was the Derby?" And I'm like, "Let me tell you about Mirn. I gotta go because I have an interview, but let me tell you about Mirn." And then I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll tell you about the Derby later." And I'm like, "You can read the blog on the Derby," but like what you're doing is inspiring. And I talk a lot about on my personal blog. I talk a lot about love ripples and like how when we show up as love, when we show up in our authenticity, and in this state of wanting to bring joy to people, like good things happen and good connections happen. And so what you're doing really is Swifty magic that I'm learning what that means.
I mean, it is. And honestly, I wasn't thinking about it until I was talking to my friends, because obviously in the group chat, I told them all about this. And I'm like, guys, these friendship bracelets did this. And I literally said, I wonder if this is how, I was like, I wonder if this is how Travis Kelsey felt, because I don't know if you ever heard the story of that, but
No, no, tell me.
so obviously Travis Kelsey and Taylor are in a serious relationship now, and we love it. We fully support it. We he's their relationship. You can just tell is different from all of her past, and like it's
You
just
know what a third down is now?
what?
I said, do you know what a third down is now? We're all caught up on football.
Yeah, no, I still don't know
I'm
football
just kidding.
terms, but I watch it.
God.
But Travis Kelsey was going to one of her shows, and this video went viral of him making these friendship bracelets and everything.
Mhm.
And come to find out, when he was going to the show, he made a friendship bracelet with his phone number on it, and he wanted to give it to her and like shoot a shot. Well, he didn't get the chance to give it to her, but somehow, some way, Swifty
Yeah.
magic. However, like Taylor heard about it, they got connected, and now they're in love and living life.
Yeah.
And so the text I sent my friends was, I wonder if this is how Travis Kelsey felt, when he started out with a friendship bracelet and a dream, and he made that happen.
Yes. I love this so much. I am a football fan, so I was like, I wasn't a Taylor Swift fan. I hate to say that because I wasn't not a fan. And it sounds like I'm a hater. I'm not a hater. I just wasn't a fan. That's all.
No, and like even some of our servers to this day, like we say we've turned all of our staff into Swifties. We've turned most of them, and they like a lot of them say that they're not a Swifty, but they do like Taylor's music, and that's
Yeah.
okay. Everybody's entitled to their taste, and we don't just listen to Taylor Swift. We listen to a bunch of other things too.
Right. But I
And
think being a Swifty is more of like an essence to me, is what
yeah,
I'm learning. It's more of
yeah.
how you live your life. And so like I am very much have become a fan of the woman that she is from what I've learned since I've opened this box.
Hmm.
Um it's just not the type of music that I typically listen to. However, I will say when I was listening to Teardrops on My Guitar, it took me back to a place I didn't know existed. Um which is crazy because it was about 14 years ago, which is probably around the same time that I won the Weight Watchers challenge with Bridget, who told me about wild eggs to begin with. So,
I love it.
okay. So, as far as wild eggs, since we're on that topic, like Has it rippled outside as far as like the franchise? Is anybody else doing that or just your location?
I mean, it's just our location. It's just something like we never even asked corporate or anything. Like we just do it,
Yeah.
and they know we do it.
And what do
Like,
they think?
I mean, they think it's really cool. They think it's really sweet. Like they've even said, like they, our marketing team even said once that they thought about like trying to post about it, but they were afraid like legal action might happen or something like that. And like, I totally get it, but it's
Yeah.
not. I don't want to like take away from Wild Eggs because we love it and like we love our jobs. We love
Yeah,
Wild
yeah,
Eggs,
yeah.
the food, everything.
But
But
it's bigger than that.
I will say, like the friendship bracelets, that's not really a Wild Eggs thing. That's an us thing, and we just bring it into our workplace because it helps make our jobs more enjoyable. Like it
Yeah.
also helps us make those connections with those guests and build on those relationships and build regulars and get people coming back in the door.
Yeah. I love that. Like beyond, I know I've said that 1,000 times, but I truly am just like, and I said to my friend, when my friend that's going to be on TMZ today, I said, there's so much we talk about. We know what's going on in the world. We know is like all the drama and nonsense that's happening. But how often do we hear like feel good stories like this? Like
Mm-hmm.
I just wrote on my personal blog, I just wrote about the spirit of the duck on cruises, on a lot of cruises. So we just got back prior to going to Kentucky. I was on a cruise visiting the Bahamas, and on Royal Caribbean they have ducks, which almost kind of have, now that I'm thinking about it, the same ripple effect as the friendship bracelets on a different in a different world. But people hide ducks around the boat, and then you find them, and some of them might have a note like, this duck came from Louisville, Kentucky,
I
or
love that.
wherever. And like you, and the note might say like, you can choose now, keep it or send it back out and let someone else find it. But like, we were on vacation and we got in a whole conversation that led me to writing a blog about it, but it led me to thinking about like, what is the spirit of the duck? And I said, like, anything that does this, that sparks conversation and encourages, like, I'm being redundant in using the word ripple, but that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a stone in the pond. And then it's amazing. I'll stop rambling. But so I love what you said though. It's a you thing. So it's gonna be wherever you go. And I hope that you come here soon. Like, I have this vision of you coming to New Jersey, just so you know. So
I mean, it is on one of my like travel lists. I haven't gone really a lot of places, but New Jersey has been on there.
well, I would be doing a disservice to not mention my friend Krista that I told you about, who she created a completely Taylor Swift decked out Airbnb here in South Jersey, in Brigantine, New Jersey. So that's the link I sent you. And I don't know, I'm kind of like, I feel like,
Which is crazy because I even shared that link. I forwarded it in our Eras, we call it our Eras baby group chat,
yeah,
where all of us Swifties talk. And I sent it and I was like, you guys, she just sent me the coolest Airbnb. She knows this person. Like, this is insane. And they were like, one of them was like, looks like we're taking a girls trip. Like, got
well,
added to the list.
I think that's happening, and I feel like there's a lot of magic that's going to happen out here on the shore. But we'll let that unfold as it will, and we'll talk about it when it comes. I want to talk a little bit about. So we talked about like what it is about Taylor Swift, but like you told me briefly about your childhood. Some things were a little bit hard for you. How has Taylor Swift been a part of your personal life's journey and like your growth as a woman?
I mean, I definitely didn't have the greatest childhood growing up. The My home life wasn't always the greatest, and so I would always like try to find a way to escape. Like Peter Pan was always one of my favorite stories growing up because I always used to wish I could go off to like Neverland or something
Yeah.
just to get away from things. And as I got older, it wasn't just stories or books that were helping me, it was music as well. And like Taylor Swift was like my happy bubble. I definitely was still pretty young to understand the real meaning behind like a lot of her lyrics and stuff, but I loved the feeling and the happiness that listening to her sound and her music, and the words that she would use, growing up. And then when I got older and I started writing and getting into really like um, writing and understanding like lyrics and words and poems and things like that and literature, I would listen to music and pay more attention to the lyrics. And that's one thing that I like. I don't just love one genre of music. I listen to like all genres because I just love hearing the lyrics. The lyrics are what makes me fall in love with a song, is the words and the story that it tells. And that's one thing that no matter what genre, what era her music is in, it's beautiful no matter what. And it's like pure poetry, like basically. And so I would listen to that, and sometimes if I would feel myself going into a panic attack or feeling very anxious, I would just pop in my headphones. Or I have this thing, I have migraines, so I have this thing called a migraine playlist, and a lot of her like acoustic versions or her slower songs are on there because they just help me kind of mellow out and recenter my brain so I can like focus and still work through my headaches and things like that. And then as I got older and I met these amazing women that I work with, or well, some of them have moved on, but we're still best friends. But we started working together at Wild Eggs. That's how we met. And we shared our love for Taylor Swift and Swifties. And they really showed me what being a real Swiftie was. And like all these, I never had any friendships like that. Yeah. And they just really showed me that life really is so much more and has so much more to offer, and it can be so much fun and worth living, and there can be actual good in the world and all this light and everything. And we kind of connected on that, and I will always feel like Taylor Swift was a part of that because that is one of the first things that we connected on. And I don't think I would have that if there wasn't, because I'm very shy and very closed off, and like I'd rather have like some kind of common interest with somebody to like talk to before I open up. And so I always like feel like that Taylor Swift connection kind of helped with that as well. And then it's grown into so much more. Like we don't even just connect with each other, we connect with strangers that we've never even met. And it's definitely helped me open up with like our regulars and kind of come out of that bubble and be able to just kind of like socialize more and not be as awkward or anything like that. And
it's not that scary, right?
Yeah. And so it's just kind of the connections that we've built. I just really love that. And like her music is just like, don't get me wrong, she's got some really like gut wrenching songs. Like You're Losing Me is, I can't even cry to it anymore because I'm completely numb, because I listened to it on repeat and like sobbed my way through it.
Oh my God.
And then the like my favorite go-to happy song, a lot of people say is Shake It Off, which is up there, but my favorite is actually from her 1989 album called How You Get the Girl. And it's just really upbeat and fun and like poppy, and it really like, I say it's my favorite driving song because after I've had a bad day, I'll blast it in the car and like belt it out, and just it helps me relax and like let go of anything that was bothering me.
I love like just your heart. I feel like you and and I'm learning Taylor probably, cut from the same cloth in the sense of like, I know what you're saying, right? Like just, and I need to listen to more of her music. That's why I'm over here scribbling all these songs you're mentioning. Because as a writer myself, I feel you on the words, the story they tell, the understanding, the feeling seen and heard. I can relate to a lot of what you're saying with Adele for me. Mm-hmm. A lot of Adele's music has made me, I've never felt more seen. Or India Ari is another one, that's never made me feel so seen or so heard or so held. So I understand the concept of like how you're explaining it. And these songs sound like they'd be up my alley. Mm-hmm. I think you are just really incredible. I think what you've built for your life already, and you're still so young. And, hearing what you've told me about just how far you've come, like, I think you should be really proud of yourself. I hope you are.
I am. Thanks. It took me a really long time to actually be able to say that I am proud of myself. And I still struggle with that to this day. But, it's every day is, gets better. Every day is a work in progress.
Yes, absolutely. And that's another, like, just this conversation, someone will hear that, someone will hear this, and that's another ripple of love, right? Before I flip this page, because I keep looking down to just make sure I'm asking you the things I want to ask you. But the last question is, can you explain what Easter eggs are to me?
Okay, Easter eggs. Yes. So, Taylor Swift, throughout as long as I've known, has dropped little hints, little Easter eggs in music videos, posts, pictures, things like that. anything that she does is
Mhm.
typically an Easter egg. And we will literally go down rabbit holes. We call it going down the rabbit hole, or we call it clowning.
Yeah.
Um,
What are they hints at? What is she hinting at? Like what she'll do
anything,
next?
anything. What she'll do next, what's coming,
Okay.
what she's planning, what she's working on, like anything. Like, perfect example, the music video for Anti-Hero from her Midnight's album.
Mhm.
Instantly, you can see so many references to the Speak Now Taylor's version
Okay.
release date, which, long story short, Taylor wanted to buy her rights to her music, but because she always wanted that, but they went behind her back and sold them without her knowledge to Scooter Braun, and he said, "I'm not going to sell you these unless you." Something like, unless you do 3 more albums for me or something like
Mhm.
that. I don't know all of the lingo, but I know like the major part of
Yeah,
it.
I do remember like the legal
Yes.
stories and stuff of what
Yes.
she went through.
And so Kelly Clarkson actually is the one who suggested to her, gave her the idea of re-recording her albums
Mm.
and re-releasing those songs. And she does. So we have Fearless Taylor's version, Red Taylor's version, and then we just got Speak Now Taylor's version and 1989 Taylor's version.
Okay.
So the only ones that we're
Those are
missing,
album titles you just listed?
yes. So
Okay.
those are, and we're the only ones we're missing are her debut album, Taylor Swift, and Reputation. So
Okay.
literally all she has to take back is her reputation and her name, which,
Ooh, that gave me chills.
yeah. So we're all very anticipating that. But before she got to the Speak Now, before she released Speak Now Taylor's version, in the Anti-Hero music video, she's using her koi fish guitar from the Speak Now World Tour.
Okay. You made
And
me cry. Sorry, you don't see me like.
and there's so many like, and everybody was like, the Speak Now guitar, Speak Now Taylor's version's coming, and they were trying to predict the date. Come to
Mhm.
find out, it was a hint towards it, because when she did announce it, and the release date, like the day that she dropped the Speak Now Taylor's version album, was actually the day of the koi fish, which was on
Oh.
guitar. So there's little hints like that, and there's like numbers and math and like everything. And a lot of times people will find them, but she's even said in interviews there's some from years ago that people don't even know or haven't figured out yet, and
Okay.
it's insane. And we go down these rabbit holes, and like, it's called clowning now, because we'd literally be like, guys, tonight she's announcing Rap Taylor's version, like there's no way around it, and we've all been wrong so far, because she just loves to keep us on our toes, and like that's
Right.
one we're really anticipating for. But even the 1989, when she was announcing the 1989 Taylor's version album on her tour, she came out in blue outfits, like different new outfits for her tour in
Mhm.
blue. And we
Mhm.
were like, there's no way. We're watching the live streams, all of them, and we're freaking out, because then she announces it happened. Like, she announced 1989 Taylor's version, and we freaked out. And I
And
do
what does blue
remember,
have to do with that? What's the blue connection?
it's just the color of the album is
Gotcha.
blue.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And it's, so we just knew. And
Yes.
it could go way deeper. Like, there's so many Easter eggs, so many things. Like, she only announces things on Fridays. Not really only, but majority of the time.
Yeah.
She announces things on Fridays, releases things on Fridays. She anytime there's a Friday the 13th, we're always freaking out, because 13 is her favorite number, and she was born on
Oh.
Friday the 13th. And
Oh.
everything. So like, that's when, like, we've got one coming up in June, I believe. Yeah, June. So we're like waiting, and like, maybe June 13th is when we'll get it.
So
And
write something up for me. I'll put it on the coolest people in the world.
so we just love trying to decipher those, and we call
Yeah.
it, I remember her last show, or any announcement we think she'd post or anything like that, we would go on social media, and there's so many Swifties, we call it clowning. And somebody was like, I'm on Clownelia Street again, kind of a reference to her song Cornelia Street. And we follow all these theories and everything, and some of them seem like they could be really, really real.
Right.
So a lot of times they're not, because obviously we still have no idea when Reputation Taylor's version is
Do you feel
coming.
like that's going to be the last one? What's your theory?
Honestly, it's gone back and forth. We really don't know if Reputation will come before debut, because you would think she would save debut for last because that was like the album that started it all.
Yeah.
But Reputation was her biggest album.
Mm.
Like she went off Instagram, she went off social medias for like over a year and
Mm.
everything. And then all of a sudden she posts like these like pictures of snakes and she just dropped Reputation. Like, and she even said there will be no explanation, there will just be Reputation. And that was her album drop. And it was insane and crazy. And
I feel
it
like she's a gangster for real.
dude, she's, yeah. There's still so many, like, people deciphered some of her outfit colors connected to her other music videos and things like that.
Right.
And it just, the Easter eggs could go on and on and on.
I love this so much. Well, I'm going to be paying attention now, and hopefully I can not go down a rabbit hole. So you tell me, you give me the report back, and I'll just be on the lookout. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So while we're kind of on though with that, I do remember her re-recording her albums, and I remember thinking there like, damn, like that's cool. I don't even know all the details, but good job, girl. But I heard Bridget was telling me that she countersued somebody for $1 or something. Oh, are you? Oh,
Um,
go ahead.
no, I was thinking. I don't really remember that part specifically.
Yeah.
I don't remember that part specifically.
I don't remember the details of what she told me, but it was something about somebody sued her and I don't know. Let me not mess up details, but whatever. She was like, basically, you're not getting over on me, and I don't need anything from you. You're just not going to get anything from me.
Yeah.
And she countersued him. She won, but countersued him for $1.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly what that specific lawsuit was for.
Yeah.
But I will say when it comes to her Taylor's version stuff, like Kesha recently has gotten out of her bad record label and deal and everything. And she's working on creating her own record label. And during Kesha's like legal troubles trying to get out of her contract and everything, I remember hearing that Taylor donated to her legal fund
Okay.
to help her with that and everything too. So Taylor's definitely very like, and anytime she releases a Taylor's version album, she sends flowers to Kelly Clarkson thanking her for the idea.
I love that. She seems like a real woman's woman for real. Like that's what makes me keep leaning in. You know, ever since I like peeked over the rabbit hole, I'm like, all right, what is it? Somebody tell me about Taylor Swift. I'll have to send you the blog I wrote because I put it on Facebook once. Like, just somebody school me. And a lot of people who know me were like, you know, you got to pay attention to the lyrics. A lot of the stuff you said, you know, and now I've learned that you're a writer and we're, you know, poet as well. So like a lot of what you're saying is, and the legal stuff people were saying, like, you got to look into her because I think you'd like her a little bit.
And like, I mean, she does so much with her Eras tour in every city that she was in. She donated profits, like huge profits, to a local food bank.
Yeah.
And would feed like thousands and hundreds of people.
Yeah.
And everything. And that was something she started from the very beginning of that tour.
That's really so beautiful. I love that you've like caught me up to speed on everything. I want to talk a little bit more about you. I know I've had you for quite some time now. If you could get if Taylor Swift was going to see this and you got like 1 minute to tell her what you wanted to tell her or what you wanted her to know about you, and it doesn't have to be a minute, but what would you want her to know?
I don't even know. I don't even think I could get words out. Like I'd probably be like dead on the floor, to be honest, like, or having an asthma attack or something. So like that's like a very hard question to answer. I mean, I probably would just want her to know how much her story and her music has helped not just me, but like all of my friends and all of the Swifties that I've met and things like that. Because I really hope I know she knows, but I really wish she could see how much we put out there.
Yeah.
And then of course, you know, I'd probably invite her to breakfast at Wild Eggs because that's something.
Lasagna.
That's something we've been trying to do for like years. Is like, you know, when we found out Travis Kelce was going to the Derby last year, we freaked out. Because we were like, what if they come into Wild Eggs? And I was like, what if they go to a different Wild Eggs that's not ours? I'm going to be pissed.
So be specific. All right, Taylor, if you're listening, or whoever's close to Taylor, whoever can get this message.
It's Wild Eggs, Leander Slate's location in Middletown in Louisville, Kentucky, like right past the Gene Snyder on Shelbyville Road.
Middletown, Louisville, Kentucky is important because if you look, because I thought when Bridget said Middletown, I looked up Middletown, Kentucky, and we're like, there is no Middletown, Kentucky.
Nope, it's in Louisville, Kentucky. It's Middletown. It's off of South English Station Road, right past the Gene Snyder, and we're called the Landis Lakes location.
And like honestly, but up beyond all this, the food really is like I'm not just blowing smoke. Really amazing. I just spilled like a little water on myself. Um, we keep joking about the breakfast lasagna. Like it was so massive. I think I ate like 5 bites of it, but it was just like, how can you say no to breakfast lasagna?
No, and one of our
Um,
Bonnie, when she first described it to me, when she had tried it at one of the tastings, she was like, "It's insane. It's like a McGriddle on steroids."
yeah, that's a really good description of it. And I don't know what they had. I was too wrapped up in that and my grits, but um, so I asked you before, and I have the video of you, but on a personal level, like when do you feel like the coolest person in the world?
I mean, I feel like I'm the coolest person in the world when I'm just living life with my friends and we can spread the little bits of magic and joy by handing out these friendship bracelets. And like, I honestly, that's what keeps me making them and trying to find new ways to not get bored with them, is because I see how happy it really does make people. And that's just kind of, even if I'm having a bad day at work or I'm struggling or I'm behind or like I really just want to go in the closet and cry for a minute, it's handing out a bracelet like that and seeing somebody get so happy and excited just kind of really makes the day so much better.
Beautiful, beautiful answer. I just have one more question I realized I missed, like, and I'll let you go. What kind of goals do you have for your life beyond this? Where do you want to go with your life? I know you're in the hospitality industry now. Is that something you're passionate about?
I mean, it's just kind of where I ended up. I never really got to go to college, and like maybe one day I'll get there. But I mean, back in the day, growing up, as long as I can remember, I wanted to be a teacher, and I mean, I kind of lost that passion once I realized how like teachers really are the most underappreciated and undervalued
Yeah.
and underpaid profession. And it definitely takes a very strong person to do that. And I, maybe one day I'll get there, but I realized that it doesn't matter if I go to school or if I have a career like that. I can kind of make an impact and meet these really cool people and live this really cool life, like even just in the restaurant industry,
Right.
like serving this food and letting people have an enjoyable experience at this restaurant that I help manage and run is just like, it's honestly, it's more fulfilling than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe one day I'll be at that restaurant, maybe one day I'll be at another, and who knows, maybe one day I'll actually get a book published, because
You will.
I'm always like writing here and there, but maybe one day I'll actually be able to like make that happen.
What would your book be about?
Honestly, there anything like there'd probably definitely be like some romance in there, because I am a sucker for like cheesy romance novels and things like that. But I mean, I there could be some mystery. I don't know.
Fiction, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. You will be a published author. You are living in alignment, and that is why we met, and that is why this conversation is happening. You just keep trusting yourself and doing the things, and I believe. And listen, even if it's not through me, I really believe that Taylor Swift's going to find out about you, and because I've seen the way, I know the way you've made me feel, but I've seen the ripple just in my orbit, right? So if I'm one person that you touch, there I know that there's multiple ripples going on. So please don't stop doing it. Please don't ever be discouraged. Like I'm truly, truly inspired by you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for your time. Don't hang up. I'm going to end the recording, but don't hang up. I appreciate
Okay.
everything. Do you want people to follow you? If so, where?
My Instagram is Lost in Neverland 143. And I mean, that's realistically the only thing I'm really on. Like
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
Facebook and stuff.
I'll be sure to tag it in spoiler
Um,
alert.
but I mean, you can also go follow like Wild Eggs restaurants or Wild Eggs Landis Lakes, because like that's another way to like kind of reach out, because I am at Wild Eggs, and
Right.
that's kind of like I've been making like taking pictures for like our holidays when we get all dressed up and everything like that. So I'm sure you'll find me on their Instagram or anything like that at some point or another.
Does Landis Lakes have a specific one or just
There's Wild Eggs restaurants, and then there's the Wild Eggs Landis Lakes. I can send you that one too.
okay, we'll
Uh,
tag everything.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Mern. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe and share and all the beautiful things they do on the internet. Talk to you next time.